This is Seasons of Discontent with your hosts Rick Snyder and Matt Combs on the Hogstein Network.
Welcome to Seasons of Discontent, Season 5, Episode 24, brought to you by Rick Snyder's Washington across all social media platforms. So listen up. And I'm Rick Snyder.
I'm Matt.
And we're back discussing all things Washington sports and life as part of the Mighty Hogstein Network on audio and here on YouTube on video. Well, Matt, I think the show sounds a lot like last week. Bad loss. Everybody's mad. Things aren't going well. But, for a long time with the Kansas City game, I thought, oh, it's competitive. They actually had a lead. And then they screwed up a couple of times and gave up some touchdowns and it pulled away. And I thought, well, the defense, I guess, didn't play too badly. And then I looked at the stat sheet, and they gave up 500 yards and almost 400 to Mahomes, who threw two crazy picks. But other than that, and I thought, well, I guess it wasn't as good a game as I thought. When Hopkins missed that field goal, I knew they were screwed. And just a bad day.
Just like the Saints, the Chiefs tried to give us the game, and they just couldn't capitalize on it. Rick, this is the 32nd ranked defense in the league the Chiefs were, let's say that. Going into yesterday, the Chiefs were the 32nd ranked defense in the league. We put up 13 points on them. This is just, it's unacceptable. I don't understand. As far as the defense goes, you have 5 years of first round draft picks on that defense. You've spent 5 first round draft picks, one of them being the second overall pick in the draft on defense. Here are their rankings. Total yardage, 30th. Passing yards, 32nd. Rushing yards, okay, they're 19th. Points, 32nd. Third down percentage, 32nd. They are the worst defense in the league. What happened? I mean, I know we talk about this every week, but what happened? You have 5 first-round draft picks, plus a hell of a talent in Matt Ioannidis. You've got another former first-round draft pick. You didn't draft him, but in Landon Collins. What is going on here?
It's really interesting. I was watching Rivera talk about it today, and I thought this team doesn't have the passion of last year.
Nope.
Last year, they're all in to save coach from the virus. Everybody's pulling together. And then, man, this year, it's like Zippo, and people didn't want to get vaccinated. Coming back, people didn't spend the off season working like they should have. They thought they had it made. And, man, they found the NFL smacked them back into reality. But I don't see the passion. I don't see the accountability. I don't see the urgency from the coach down to the team. And in the NFL, man, you got to hustle every week. Like, that the storm is coming at you and you got to get ready for it. I don't see it. And that will kill you in the NFL.
And I mean, in hindsight, realistically, last year they were gift wrapped a division. Dallas lost Dak Prescott. Ezekiel Elliott had a down year. The Giants were woeful, and the Eagles just gave up in the end. So they were gifted a division championship at 7-9. So therefore, they were gifted a first place schedule this year, which they're not. They're not playing very well. You're right. They've been smacked down to reality. They believed all the headlines, they read all the press clippings, and they believed all the hype from all the media guys on NFL Network and ESPN in the offseason. And they thought they were just going to come in here and be anointed the best defense in the league because they have all these number 1 picks and they were so awesome last year. But hey, you still got to play the games. I mean, come on.
I have to admit, I was dreadfully wrong about this defense.
So was I.
It'd be much better. I was completely wrong because I didn't sense what's got into them. And there's like some kind of sense of malaise. Outside of Jerron Payne, I don't see anyone on the line that's doing that well. And the whole team's built on the line doing well.
Yep.
So the rest of it's going to collapse like the house of cards. And it has, and it makes me wonder, is Ron Rivera the right coach to this team? And here we go. First up to say, no, he's not.
No.
And I don't think he's going anywhere for at least another year. But I don't sense it in Ron. And I don't know if this has anything to do with last year's illness. If it does, I certainly understand. At some point, you reevaluate your life after a major illness. I've been there. I just don't see the old Ron who was breathing fire down in Carolina at times. And I don't know what it is, but I don't see it. He talks about, well, we have to correct some things. Talks very, nonchalant. And I don't know if he's back in the room beating people or not, but I don't get that sense that the old Ron who said basically get better or get out. I don't see it. And if you don't do that to players, pretty much they'll slack off because they get paid on Monday and they just put it behind them. We're going to do better. I don't see, this eating at them. But I think is Ron the right coach? I think I wrote a column for 106.7 The Fan about it. I would have rather seen Ron in a way be team president because the big thing you want from him is accountability as an organization to turn around all these problems. And I think he'd have been better served there and help set up the next coach to, and support him. This coach-centric thing that Dan Snyder, first thing out of his mouth, we're going to a coach-centric system. Here's Ron Rivera, which means coach decides everything. Mm-hmm. All right, if Belichick and you got Brady, it works out pretty well.
Yeah, and we see what Belichick is without Brady.
Yeah, not nearly as good. And so now the problem that Washington has, let's look at their off season. You had the same front office who's in sync with Ron because he hired them to do that. You don't have different opinions on how to bring things like Beathard and Gibbs. Beathard brought this big oaf over to the line, told Gibbs you're going to play him. Gibbs was like, screw you. Well, it's Joe Jacoby, but Beathard found it was a different way of doing things and it worked. But let's look at their offseason acquisitions. All right, Ryan Fitzpatrick. All right, it was an injury, but got 20 minutes out of the quarterback you were basing everything on. Adam Humphries, bah. Curtis Samuel hasn't played but a few downs, and I'm missing one.
William Jackson III.
William Jackson, who's he's being put. I don't know if there's a lot of truth that he's being put in the wrong system. I just know it isn't working. And if he is in the wrong system for him, that's coach's fault for bringing him.
Yeah, he's a man-to-man corner, and he's asked to play zone. And
then you look at your draft. Jamin Davis done nothing for you in your first round. Cosby in the second is going to be a good player for him.
He's hurt.
No, Cosby's second rounder.
Cosby's second rounder, but he's hurt.
Right, he's hurt. I'm sorry. And I'm not sure how long he'll be out for yet. And then the third rounder, St. Juice, he might be an okay player, but look at all those acquisitions. The year before, you got McKissick and Logan Thomas. These guys really helped out a lot. This year, you got nothing from the offseason. And so that's that coach-centric thing. If you're wrong, it's not good. I know everybody will say it's too early, but I've been around a long time to tell you I can see when it's not going to work.
The problem is, we went coach-centric with Mike Shanahan. Mike Shanahan handpicked Bruce Allen. Maybe the worst decision ever for this team in light of what's happened recently. But, he brought in Bruce. He brought in his son. He was going to coach for 5 years, and then he was going to hand the mantle over to Kyle. The problem is there's nobody in the pipeline for Ron. If Ron was to step away because of illness or something like that, are you going to give the head coaching job to Scott Turner? I haven't seen enough out of him. Plus, he'd be eaten alive in this town, I think, just because of his last name. But I don't know, man. It's but you're right. The free agent acquisitions. I mean, everybody talked about, well, Ronald Darby got $10 million a year. Well, thank God we didn't pay that. We upgraded. We got this guy from Cincinnati, William Jackson. It hasn't worked out. This team got better last year with their depth. Look at a Kareem Curl that came in when Landon Collins got hurt. Ronald Darby had to step up. Logan Thomas was a quarterback converted to tight end, and he had a breakout season. McKissick was never used properly in Seattle, came here and became, damn near an all-pro. The problem is, you're right. They have not gotten production out of their free agents. They haven't gotten production out of their rookies, and they have not gotten any kind of breakout guy from their depth. I don't know what it's going to take for a guy like DeShazer Everett to get to play besides anything but special teams. I mean, they're sticking with Collins. I don't get it. Here's the thing. San Francisco's kicking the tires on one of the Kendricks brothers. Why can't this team go out and find a guy like that? Find a guy. Your linebackers, you're so thin at linebacker. Cole Holcomb played 100% of the snaps yesterday. You are so thin at that position. There's guys out there, and you won't even kick the tires. You're still bringing in kickers. You're still bringing in kickers to test. Screw the kickers. We need linebackers. We need depth.
Right.
We need people that can play.
And the kicker blew it. So, as they say. So, yeah, I know. It's Brian doesn't want to make changes. He was asked today, trade deadline's coming up shortly. Are you going to do some due diligence to, maybe bring someone in? And then Ron just turned that question right back at it and said, we will do our due diligence, which means nothing.
He ain't doing nothing.
I wonder what the price will be for Deshaun Watson. And if the NFL is going to suspend Watson, why haven't they already done it? Because he's an active. They're just not playing him in Houston, but he's an active player. But the NFL is screwing that. But if you trade for him, then the NFL is going to go, oh, he's in Washington, 6-game suspension. There'll be something. And that's just crazy.
Yep.
Got a couple minutes left. Sean Taylor tribute on Sunday. Man, the public went crazy over this because they knew it was just Dan Snyder trying to distract people from all this. But it was so poorly executed. And they're like, oh, we've been planning this forever. Well, let's just say I believe that, which I really don't. But
no, they said they wanted to surprise his family.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't think I don't see that. But they executed it so poorly. For instance, there's a guy, Chad, who was on the internet.
I was getting ready to use that.
And Chad had a bunch of things he would have done, and he was right about them all. But things like, why are the Porta-Johns behind the, Sean
Taylor Way? Sean Taylor Way, and there's a rack of Porta-Johns right behind them. The family's taking a group photo. His daughter's out there holding the sign. The sign is posted, on the metal poles, and they're standing in front of porta potties that were used during tailgate for drunks to pee in. Come on, man.
And the thing on the field only lasted about 90 seconds. They barely said anything. There was no video board, highlight plays going on. It was easy to miss, although I'd say the crowd stayed for it. I'll give them that. Everybody in Kansas City went got a hot dog, but they stayed for it. But there was no energy to it. And the crowd tried to do a Sean Taylor chant, but the team just said, okay, there they are. All right, everybody take up pictures. Okay, bye. And I'm like, wow, man, this was done poor.
And then here, look, I'm going to show you all this. This is the towel that they handed out against Buffalo when he passed away. I was at that game. I got the towel. What is the difference between this towel and the one that they gave out yesterday? They added his name. It's like they had a bunch of them left over from 2009, and they said, oh, well, let's screen print Sean Taylor's name on it. That was my position on this is, and I know you and I have different positions on Sean. My position is, as much as that player meant to this franchise, that was supposed to be our game changer. That was our guy that was going to elevate this defense, and the amount of plays that he made in the short amount of time he was here and the way that he passed, he is beloved in this city. He is beloved by every fan of the Washington Redskins / Washington football team. He is up there with Jurgensen and all them guys, in the hierarchy with the fans of this team, for most of us. The way that you handled this is a complete slap in the face to your entire fan base. I don't care about the Chiefs game. I don't care about how they're playing now. Chase Young comes out and puts the tape over his face mask, and they cut to a picture of him in the second quarter, and he took it off. Like, oh, well, I'm just going to do this to get on Twitter, and then I'm just going to take it off and play my game. Come on, dude. Like, you really have to connect with your fan base and the way that this man, his life and his playing meant to this fan base. And they completely dropped the ball on everything. Every aspect of this, they completely, and I want to curse so bad, but they completely S the bed.
And there you go. We got to get out of here. Sonny's the next one retired. But anyway, I'm Rick Snyder.
I'm Matt.
We'll be back soon.
Bye.
Thanks for listening to Seasons of Discontent on the Hogstye Network.